at Giga-Bites Cafe in Atlanta, Georgia, here for another battle report, and we're trying something different this week. We've got a board that is outdoor, so we've gotten all the outdoor terrain we can find, and we're going to see how Dropzone Commander plays in an outdoor setting, see how it's different. The mission we're going to play is Ground Control. It's one of the ones from the new expansion book, Reconquest Phase 1. It's a pretty simple mission. You divide the board into 4 quadrants. At the end of the game, you add up how many points you have in each quadrant, how many points your opponent has. Aircraft count towards your points. Any infantry and structures count double, but no structures here, so that won't really apply. And for each quadrant that you win, you get 2 points. If there's a tie, it goes down to kill points. So pretty simple. We'll be back in a second with our armies. All right, this is my most recent tournament list at 1,500 points. I've got a Zeus and an Odin and a Neptune for my command group. I've got a standard battle group with 2 Phobos and a Neptune and 2 Helios and a Neptune. I've got an infantry battle group with two bases of Immortals inside a Triton with miniguns and 2 Helios and a Neptune. Got a Hades and a Poseidon, not quite painted, but I'm getting there. And I've got a scout group with 4 Mercury drones and 2 squads of Sirens in Tritons with no upgrades.
Alright, so this is the infamous double fire drake list. I've got a command battle group of just the Coyote. I've got an armor battle group with a pair of Tarantulas and the first fire drake. Then I've got an infantry battle group with some Kukris, a second infantry battle group with another fire drake, then a heavy battle group with 3 Jaguars, and then I've got a Gaia, a Spirit, an Eden, and 3 Haydens.
Alright, here's our direct deployment. Brian's just put down his Coyote. I've put down my Mercury drones. We'll be back after the first activation. Start of turn 1, and Brian won the initiative, which was probably pretty likely because he has a commander on the board and I don't. That's it. I activated my scout battle group, brought my 2 Siren squads on, landed the aircraft, moved them into the forest, and just slightly repositioned the Mercuries.
Okay, so I activated my armor battle group. I brought the fire drake in and used its area weapon against the landed Triton over there. It missed, but it deviated only slightly. I destroyed the Triton and did 1 point of damage on one of the infantry bases. And then the other part of the activation was I assigned an Eden Gate to it, and it just moved its full movement. And the Tarantulas that are assigned to that armor battle group are still dematerialized.
Alright, I activated my infantry battle group. Lesson learned from the fire drake, so they're, I think, probably safer off up in the air, so they're just sitting there. And then I brought my Helios on, moved the full movement, did not deploy.
Alright, so I activated one of my infantry battle groups, and then I assigned the fire drake to it and used its gate capacity, and then I deployed the Kukris out of the gate.
I activated my armor battle group, brought the Phobos on here, deployed them out into the 2 terrain features, but they're still in coherency. And then I got my second group of Helios, which are right here. I'll magnetize those on in a second.
Alright, so I activated the second infantry battle group, had the Spirit fly on and land behind the rock pile, and then brought in these Haven Gates.
Okay, I activated my command battle group and moved them here, and they got out.
I activated my command battle group, and I just moved them forward a little bit.
I activated my heavy battle group and got my Hades out of its dropship, right there.
Alright, so I activated my heavy with the Gaia, and knowing full well he's got AA over here that at some point he's going to start shooting, and knowing that this is not tall enough, I decided to risk it and fly low. As you can see, I rolled the dreaded double 1, so that gate is out of here. And those Jaguars are currently stranded in orbit, so I'm going to have to quickly reshuffle my plans, figure out what it is I'm going to do.
Alright, I activated my armor battle group. The Helios moved forward a little bit, disembarked, and this guy got out of the woods so we wouldn't have to shoot through 4 inches of forest. And they used a countermeasures hack, shot his Eden back there, and blew it up.
Alright, so there are actually emergency rules for dematerializing partial squads with gates. What I did is I assigned both of the fire drakes, used their gate capacity, and I brought out 2 of the Jaguars.
Activated my heavy battle group, moved my Hades up a little bit, and was able to get line of sight to the Jaguar here. Shot it with just the tail cannon because the other guns were out of range, and killed it.
Alright, so I activated my infantry battle group, which is included the Kukris. I moved them up. They took a pot shot at this dropship, put 2 damage on it, and then I just moved these havens further up over this direction.
Alright, I activated my command group. I did a quick pick up and drop off, moved him back here, tried to keep him out of sort of line of sight from the fire drakes with the forest, but they're still kind of hanging out there. And he tried to reaction fire me with his kukri because there was really no reason why not to, and he was out of range.
Alright, so I activated my infantry group and moved this haven up and deployed this infantry out of the landed spirit.
I did my infantry battle group. This infantry got out of their Triton back here into this crystal thing, which is an insubstantial area feature that's over an inch tall. And then my Helios got out of their dropship and deployed right there.
Alright, so I activated my armor group. My armor group is still dematerialized, so basically it does nothing. It's basically a pass.
Alright, I did my scout group. My Mercury's moved up here just a little bit, and my Siren transport took off. I learned my lesson from last turn, and that's it.
Alright, so I activated my command group and I just moved my commander up.
Turn 3, Brian won the roll-off, but I played a central HQ directive and made him re-roll it, and then I won. And I played a field repair on this damaged Neptune, so it's only taken 1 damage now, and that's it. Activated my armor battle group. Moved them just slightly. They both shot at this fire drake here. Brian played Dazzle Foe. I espionaged it, and he played another Dazzle Foe, so they were +1 to hit. They only got 2 hits, did no damage to it. Then I moved up my Helios, and unfortunately they were just slightly out of range. They couldn't hit him, so they shot the Jaguar instead, and actually rolled 3 shaped charge shots, so rolled really well, so it's down to 1 damage point.
Alright, so I activated my heavy battle group. Used one of the fire drakes to gate in the remaining Jaguar. It can't do anything except dematerialize and move a little bit. The other one did move up a little bit, took some pot shots at that Phobos, wound up doing 1 damage point to it.
Yep, thanks to a white nanomachine card that gave it a passive, I saved one of the shots with a passive. I activated my command group. They moved up slightly, shot at the Kukris, and killed 2 of them.
Alright, so I activated my infantry battle group, moved these havens a little bit further forward, and then activated the Kukri, moved it forward, shot at this dropship, and wound up killing it.
I activated my heavy group, moved the Hades up here, moved the dropship up behind it, repair nanomachined my Phobos to its back up to full. The Gatling guns couldn't shoot through the forest, so they kind of didn't shoot. The tail cannon shot 2 shots on this guy, 1 shot on this guy. He's dead, and then I rolled a 1 and missed him.
Alright, so I activated my armor group and I assigned the second fire drake to it. Finally dematerialized, brought him onto the board, and that's the activation.
I activated my infantry battle group. These 2 Helios moved up here and rolled really well and actually completely blew up his fire drake. We'll move in a second. And then I just shuffled my infantry over an inch and moved the dropship slightly.
Alright, so I activated my infantry battle group. Assigned a gate to it, dematerialized that squad of Braves.
I activated my scout battle group, and the only thing I did was move my Mercury drones up.
Activated the command battle group and just moved up the commander.
He's in range of a shot, but he's shooting through 4 inches of forest, so that's not going to happen. Alright, it's the start of turn 4, and Brian won the roll-off. I played a Nano Cloaks card, just in case, on that infantry base, and I think that's it.
Alright, activated my armor group, had the walkers move up, they took out the Odin, and then with their laser pods, shot at the Helios, did nothing. Fire Drake took its shot, rolled a 1, did nothing.
Activated my heavy battle group, moved the Hades up. Unfortunately, there's too much forest here now for the tail cannon to hit that Jaguar, so I couldn't shoot it. So instead, the tail cannon shot his Kukri, which was here, and the left minigun did too. Killed it, fired the black nanomachines at the tarantulas with the scout spotting for them, rolled a 1, so it didn't do anything.
So I activated my heavy battle group, moved the remaining walker back, took a shot at the Phobos, did 1 damage on it.
Activated my command group, backed up the Zeus a little bit, and rolled a 1. Tried to shoot the tarantulas.
So I activated my infantry battle group way over here on the other side of the hill and deployed my infantry.
I activated my infantry battle group over here. They took 2 sniper shots at the Braves that are in the forest here, killed 1 guy. The dropship moved up here, shot the tarantula, didn't do any damage. Helios moved up here, unloaded all their missiles, did 1 damage to that tarantula.
So I just activated my infantry, took some shots with sniper rifles against these nano cloak guys. Had no effect.
Activated my AA group. These guys moved up here, shot the tarantula that was there. Only 1 was in range, but didn't do any damage. This dropship moved up, shot it, didn't do any damage. The one, that one. The Phobos moved up a little bit. They both shot that tarantula. Got 1 hit through the shields, and I rolled a 6, so it's dead. And their dropship went here and went to the dead.
So I activated my command battle group, moved my commander up, took a shot at the Helios, completely missed.
Activated my scout battle group. The Mercury drones moved up. They're stuck there, and this group of sirens got back into their dropship. Beginning of turn 5, Brian won the roll-off, and I played a nanocloak card on these sirens back here because unfortunately they're at a command distance now.
So I activated my armor battle group, moved the tarantula back, took a shot at the commander, did nothing. Moved the fire drake over, it took a shot and did 1 point of damage.
Yep, failed my passive and he rolled a 5. So I activated my heavy group, and I really screwed up the movement. I kind of moved it around here, but now it still couldn't see through 4 inches of forest to hit the Jaguar, and it can't hit that. I can't see the infantry, so I didn't shoot the tail gun on anything, unfortunately. Basically, all I did was use the repair nanomachines on the commander, so it's back to full health.
Alright, so I activated my heavy battle group, just move it back. Before it moved, he took a pot shot at the Phobos there, but he played white nanomachine and he made his passive on 1 shot.
The other shot missed. Activated my command group, moved him into the woods, shot his tarantula, hit it, but he made his passive save.
Alright, so I activated my infantry battle group, just moved the infantry up and ran this haven around.
Activated my infantry group, moved the Helios up. They rolled kind of badly, but they still managed to get 1 damage point on the tarantula. And then over here, I had my infantry fire the sniper rifles. They did the 2 remaining damage on that base, so that base is dead. And the dropship moved up just a little bit, but it's out of minigun range.
And my other infantry battle group that's hiding behind the rock, they activated, they didn't do anything.
Activated my AA group. Helios moved up. Again, only 1 was in range. It managed to get a 6, so the tarantula's dead. Phobos moved over here to get in this quadrant. They were out of range of everything. The 2 drop ships for those units are over here, and they shot the Spirit Gate and managed to kill it.
Alright, so I activated my commander, took a shot, took out 1 of his Helios, and then just moved back.
Alright, activated my scouts, moved the drones up a little bit. They played a call for extraction. They now have a drop ship. This siren squad went over here and got into the swamp. Turn 6, I won the roll-off. He played a Central HQ directive, I espionaged it, and then I played an adaptive camouflage on that lone Helios over there. Just to make sure I activated my AA group, just moved him up there, can't really shoot at anything, and the dropships are fine, and the Phobos just moved that way a little bit.
Alright, so I activated my heavy group, took some shots at the Poseidon, I did a little bit more damage to it, took out the damaged Phobos, and then he just moved back.
I did the infantry group, moved these guys behind the forest so they'd be harder to shoot from his commander, and did a quick dust off with the infantry here to make sure they were in this table corner, moved their transport up here. That's it.
Alright, so I just activated 1 of my infantry groups and I dematerialized with 1 of the squads that's over here and rematerialized it over there.
Activated my scout group, moved the drones around here a little bit, the sirens stay put.
Alright, I activated the other infantry battle group. It's them over there in the woods and they're staying put.
Activated my command group. He was actually in range of his commander, but I missed. I like using the themes.
Alright, so I activated my armor battle group, moved the fire drake full speed, and placed raised shield on it as well, hoping that it doesn't die from all the AA that's around here.
Activated my heavy group. I picked it up with transport, dropped it off here, so it's in this quadrant.
Alright, so I activated my commander. He moved up, took a shot at that Helios and completely missed.
That's the end of the game. So this quadrant here, the only thing that's in it is the sirens and their dropship, so I win that one. Over here, I win this one by like 200 or so points once you get that Hades in there, even with the fire drake. This one, all he's got is the two Havens and the infantry, so you know the commander and the Helios put me over the top there. And then he wins this one with his Jaguar and his Coyote with his commander. So PHR wins, 6 victory points to 2. I actually thought the outdoor was pretty fun. Really, we were talking about this. The only thing I was really worried that the infantry would just be totally useless, but at least for the regular infantry, like the Immortals, they weren't, because the forests protect them pretty well if you get them in the forests. And the other player is going to have infantry down on the table somewhere too, so you can do some damage to them. They can have little firefights and stay in the woods and crouch down and shoot at each other. The only thing that's really useless were the sirens, because they don't have very good shooting attacks. They just have their magnums. So I basically just used them as mobile point scoring. I don't think they fired a shot in the entire game. But yeah, no, actually this is pretty fun. Didn't really know what to expect, but ground control works pretty well in an outdoor map. What do you think?
Yeah, there's two different things to separate here. How my game went and how the scenario went. The scenario is pretty interesting, played outdoors. I've played 4 or 5 games using nothing but outdoor terrain, but not to this level of density, I believe. So that does affect the playstyle, but it definitely makes a difference. Infantry is more survivable than you would expect. Maneuvering around the forest is actually a big deal because it dramatically affects the movement of things like the walkers.
And skimmers really affects your shooting, because with substantial area terrain you can't shoot through more than 4 inches of it. So we've got a lot of forests here. That really, and combined with these rocks, that really gummed up the line of sight. So it was hard to get shots.
Yeah, I thought because we had so much low terrain here that things were going to be pretty deadly for things that were flying. Not as big a deal because most of my AA got killed almost immediately. So, but yeah, it's definitely interesting, and I would recommend that whatever scenario you play, try them again playing them outdoors. That will make it a dramatically different game. Separate from that is how I played. I had a disastrous game, to say the least. My whole strategy was to try and avoid where the Hades was going to be, and that's why I was moving everything in the big, heavy gate. Losing the heavy gate and not being able to bring in my Jaguar squad as one cohesive group, and being able to redeploy it seriously affected things. And it got wiped out pretty early on.
Yeah, because as soon as the gate was gone, you had to use your fire drakes to gate in the Jaguars. So that had 2 things. First off, the fire drakes weren't getting to shoot me, so I was, saving myself all those shots from the long distance blasts, which are really effective in a map like this. And then second off, they came in piecemeal, so I was able to kind of pick them off one at a time as they came in, and they barely got any shots off. So that's if you've played war games before, coming in piecemeal is pretty deadly. It's pretty bad. So that really decided a lot of the game, was that Gaia going down on like turn 1 or 2.
But hey, you pays your money, you takes your chances. So. it was going to be spectacular right up until it wasn't.
Once again, the Hades, the more I play with the Hades, as long as you design your list appropriately so that you have enough AA and infantry and you can compete on that side, if you get that Hades in the right spot, it just kills everything, just game after game. I mean, killed Jaguar, finished off another Jaguar, killed 2 Kukris, very, very nearly got some damage in on those the tarantulas over there, and really controlled the center of the board. So I really love the Hades the more I play with it. I was a little skeptical of playing it at 1500, but now that I've played a couple games with this list, it's really powerful. But again, you got to get in the right spot. If you get it isolated in the wrong part of the board, that's a lot of your army that's not be able to affect anything.
Yeah, and my list was a list that I used once before in a recent tournament, and it's done fairly well. You got quite a fair amount of infantry. If I were to go specifically for this scenario, I would have probably taken just the minimal amount of infantry.
Yeah, same here.
And taken more armor or AA and gates so I could redeploy and try and contest some of the other tables. Yeah, if I was going to redesign this list, I would have taken the minimal amount of infantry. I might have taken a firstborn and a spirit just so I could have a high points unit to contest an area. But yeah, I would have probably taken more armor.
Yeah, I think actually probably it'd be really fun if you have a map with a couple buildings in it, maybe a couple big buildings, so that they can't just get destroyed.
Right.
And then a bunch of forest and outdoor terrain to go around them. I think that'd be probably the best mix. That'd be pretty fun.
Right.
Just so you have somewhere or something that the infantry can have a use for. Having a scenario where the infantry are almost totally useless kind of skews the game, because it really depends on what list you bring and whether or not you knew that scenario was coming in advance. But, yeah, definitely open to playing more outdoor scenarios. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
So we'll probably try this again sometime. Anything else?
No, I agree. More outdoor scenarios are definitely fun, and you get to try some of your terrain making skills as well. So you got the hobby aspect as well.
Cool. All right. See you next time.